Hello Form 4 student, welcome to Camp's lesson by teacher Emmanuel Masato. Our topic is non-metal and is a compound. We are going to start what is the meaning of non-metal. Non-metal is an element which reacts with electron by gaining to form negative charge ion. Example, M representing non-metal. When react with electron, it gains an electron and become negative charge. E means electrons, and we know electron is a negative charge particle. So that's why from the definition we define like this non-metal, this element which react with electron by gaining to form negative charge ion. Example, chlorine when react with electrons, it gain one electrons and become chlorine ion which have negative charge. Non-metals are electronegative elements with higher electron negativity and ionization energy. They have a tendency to accept electron and form an ion. Non-metals, they have a tendency to accept electron and form an ion. They are said to be oxidizing agent due to their property of gaining electron from other elements. These non-metals are gaining electron from another element. That's why they are said to be oxidizing agent. Oxidizing agent are substances which gain electrons. Example of non-metal are chlorine, fluorine, oxygen, nitrogen, bromine. Let's see characteristics of non-metal. The oxidizing agent. This is because they have ability to accept electrons. They have low melting point and boiling point. They have low density. They are gaining electron during chemical reaction. They have low physical strength. Also, the oxide are acidic in nature. Let's see chemical property of non-metal. Non-metal react with oxygen to form non-metallic oxide, which are acidic in nature. That is chemical property of non-metal. It reacts with oxygen to form oxide, but oxide of non-metal are acidic in nature. So when you take oxide of non-metal, you dissolve in water, it makes acidic solution. And also you can prove that the oxide is acidic in nature by taking blue litmus paper, can be changed to lead. Example, when carbon reacts with oxygen, it forms carbon dioxide, which is acidic gas. Most of non-metal oxide form a gas which have smell and different color. Most of non-metal oxide form a gas which have smell and different color. For example, ammonium have a smell of urine and it is colorless. That is the example for some gas which are formed when non-metal react with oxygen. Non-metal are good oxidizing agents. Oxidize in almost all their reaction. Non-metal are good oxidizing agent. Oxidizing agent is a substance which accepts electrons. Also, oxidizing agent is a substance which add oxygen. Example, aluminium is oxidized with bromine to form aluminium bromides. When aluminium react with bromine, aluminium become oxidized to form aluminium bromides. Bromides, which is 6, which is 3. In the equation of aluminium plus bromides to form this product, aluminium here have a valence of 0, but in product have a valence of positive 3. Here you can see that aluminium have been oxidized, have gained electrons. and this have a valence of 0. Here have a valence of -1. This have lost electron. So in this reaction, aluminium become oxidized and bromine become reduced. Non-metal have a tendency to oxidize a metal. Another property, chemical property of non-metal, have a tendency to oxidize a metal. Oxidize to add oxygen. Here in this property, it is going to add oxygen. Another chemical property. Let's say electronegative non-metal like carbon, oxygen, which is a less electronegativity non-metal. Example, carbon and hydrogen can act as a reducing agent for some compound like ferric oxide and the copper oxide. It acts as reducing agent. It reduces here when it acts as reducing agent in ferric oxide. Ferric oxide is iron with oxygen, and the copper 2 oxide is copper with oxygen. It will take your oxygen from copper, and the product which will be formed will be copper plus what? Carbon dioxide. So it reduces. It acts as a reducing agent, which is remove oxygen from ferric oxide and copper oxide, but this is operated by less electronegativity non-metal like carbon and hydrogen when it reacts with compound like ferric oxide and copper oxide. Also react with base to form salt. Because non-metal are oxide of non-metal are acidic oxide, so when react with base it forms salt in the water. Let's see oxidizing property of non-metal. What is oxidizing agent and reducing agent? Oxidizing agent is a substance which accepts electron. The substance which accepts electron is known as oxidizing agent. And the reducing agent is a substance which donates electrons. Oxidizing and reducing agent can be identified in redox reaction. In order to see this is oxidizing agent and this is reducing agent, you're supposed to see redox reaction. Redox reaction is a reaction which have both oxidation and reduction process. The element which tend to form iron by losing electron oxidation can act as a reducing agent. The element which tend to form iron, the element when it form iron by losing electron oxidation can act as what? Reducing agent. So oxidation is a loss of electrons. The element which tend to form iron by gaining electron reduction can act as oxidizing agent. So oxidizing agent is the element which tend to form iron by gaining electron. Gaining electron reduction process. The strongest reducing agent are found in group 1, while the weakest reducing agent are found in group 7. Strongest reducing agent are found in group 1, while the strongest oxidizing agent come from group 7. One of the main property of non-metal is to gain electron. One of the main property of non-metal to gain electron. Non-metal have 4 to 6 electron in outermost shell. It have 4 to 6 electron in outermost shell. For example, here you see nitrogen electron in outermost shell are 5, oxygen 6, chlorine are 7. So this they are needing electrons, they are supposed to gain electrons so that to become stable. To become stable, the outermost shell must be filled. You know, the stable element is an element which have full filled in the outermost shell, which have 8 electrons in the outermost shell. So for nitrogen to become stable must gain 3. For oxygen to become stable must gain 2. For chlorine to become stable must gain 1. That's why non-metal they are gaining electrons. And the substances that are gaining electrons are known as what? Oxidizing agent. So any chemical substance gain electron is oxidizing agent. Also, all non-metal is oxidizing agent. The number of electron gain per atom signifies the valence. The number of electron gain per atom signifies or represents the valence of that element. Oxidizing power of halogen. Oxidizing power of halogen. You know, halogens are elements found in group 7 of a periodic table, and sometimes are known as salt producer because they are reacting to form a salt. Oxidizing power of halogen decreases as one moving down the group. Oxidizing power of halogen. Here we're talking oxidizing power of halogen. Oxidizing power of halogen decreases as one moving down the group. This is because of tendency of electronegativity decrease down the group. Property of halogen. As salt producer. For example, halogen here, you can say maybe chlorine when react to sodium from sodium chloride is a table salt. Are mostly electronegative element. Are mostly electronegativity element, with fluorine being the most electronegativity and iodine the least in a group. Some of them are gaseous, solid, and others are liquid at room temperature. Some of them are gas, others are solid, others are liquid at room temperature. They have a color. Halogen, they have a color. Let's see displacement relation of nanometal. Displacement relation of nanometal. More reactive nanometal displace the less reactive nanometal. Example here, calcium, nitrogen plus oxygen. Here, oxygen is very reactive than nitrogen. That's why oxygen can replace the part of nitrogen. The same here, fluorine is very reactive than oxygen. So fluorine is replaced, and the product which I formed is like this one. Let's see the difference between metal and non-metal. Metal are good conductor of electricity. Non-metal are poor conductor of electricity. Metal are good conductor of heat. This is a poor conductor of heat. Metal are form basic in phosphoric oxide, but in non-metal of C it form acidic in natric oxide. High boiling and melting point. This have low boiling and melting point. Ionized by electron loss. This is ionized by electron gains. This non-metal have high density. This have low density.